You little punk. You iced her husband right in front of her just to get a taste of that mature woman flavor. The auntie didn't even get mad. Instead, she jumped into your arms. Relieved? Why? Because a global zombie outbreak had just kicked off. You're crashing at Auntie's place in Tokyo when BAM. You activate the savior system. All you gotta do is rescue these helpless ladies, and you get insane rewards. Your grin stretched from ear to ear just hearing that. Score. Looks like we got a damsel in distress right here, fitting the system's requirements perfectly. Seitu Kana is bawling her eyes out in the living room, fresh from a beatdown by her husband. He's off to gamble away the house, and when she tried to stop him, he left her bruised all over. After the bastard slams the door, you, the newly awakened beast, burst in and stride right up to Kana. Kana sees you and frantically tries to cover her torn nightgown. Xiao Jiao, sorry you had to see that. Auntie's fine. You take a deep breath and declare like a boss. Auntie, listen up. Zombies are breaking out in 1 minute. Your hubby's useless. Before the apocalypse hits, you need a real man with real power, like me. Kana is stunned. Xiao Jiao, are you feeling okay? Auntie's really alright. You grab Kana's hand. I've never been more clear-headed. Right now, the only one who can protect you in this world is Me. Come with me. Kana's cheeks flush instantly. Your grip sends a jolt of security and excitement through her, sparking a secret thrill in her heart. But the fact she is married makes her sigh. I am sorry, Xiao Jiao. After all, I'm still a married woman. Seitu Kana's voice was so quiet it's like a mosquito buzz. Before she can finish her sentence, heavy banging echoes on the door, followed by the agonized, feral roar of a man. Kana, open the door. I'm starving. Get out here. Seitu Kana's body trembles violently. Her smiling face turned deathly pale. No one knows that voice better. Every time her husband loses his money or drinks too much, she's doomed. Now the dreaded beatdown is about to repeat. But you sense something's wrong. Her husband didn't come here to beg for money. He's moaning about being hungry. Could it be? Suddenly, the door bursts open with a crash, and a man in casual clothes with unhealthy grey skin and terrifying black fingernails staggers into view. Even worse, there's a bloody chunk torn out of his arm, like some creature bit off a mouthful of flesh. The man sees Kana, his eyes glow red. He opens his bloody mouth. He lunges towards Seitu Kana and you. A dark premonition rises in your heart. It's happening. Seitu Kana stares at her fully zombified husband, frozen in terror, her heart leaping to her throat. As her zombie husband draws closer, terror consumes Kana. She sobs uncontrollably. At that moment, one thought flashed through her mind. I don't want to die. I should say yes to Xiao Jiao. I still have not experienced the happiness of a woman. Her soul is in torment, yet her legs refuse to move. Just when she closed her eyes, she saw a back of a man stand in front of her. Seitu Kana cannot believe it. She opened her eyes and saw you landed a kick. You boot the zombie straight in the gut. As the zombie reels back, you snatch a steak knife from the table and plunge it straight into its brain, then shove the zombified Kana's husband out the window. Seitu Kana gasps, deathly pale. She can't take it anymore. She presses her mouth and back step, lean on the wall and start to vomit. But when she looks up, she saw the scenery from the window. It made her widen her beautiful eyes. People were screaming and fleeing. Hordes of humanoid monsters like her ex-husband are chasing them, like a world of nightmare. It is really an apocalypse. Trembling, Kana almost throws up again, backing into you and collapses in your arms. You hold the tender meat that comes to you, your mind swayed. Finally, Seitu Kana's emotions break through her. The tears stream out, and she sobs uncontrollably in your arms. Why? Why is this happening? What am I supposed to do? Half an hour later, Seitu Kana sits limply in the bathtub, letting the cold water soak her hair. It's the only way she can force herself to stay calm. Her abusive husband is now a zombie who nearly killed her, and the outside world is a living hell. Her family is gone. The world has changed. How is a woman supposed to survive in this apocalypse? Your words echo in her ears. Before this apocalypse, you need a real man with real power, like me. She closes her eyes in despair, her emotions stirred, and she can't help thinking about her daughter and the apocalypse. She lowered her head and walked to the bedroom. You are sitting on the bed watching the scenery from the window in the dim room. Looking at your handsome side profile and strong body, she bit her lip. She sneaked to you, blushed and said, both scared and expecting, Xiao Jiao, can I trust you? Hearing the voice, you paused and turned around. You saw the still charming auntie who is wearing a bathrobe. Whether intentionally or not, the hand that grips the towel suddenly falls. Skip the next part. 2 hours later, system notification, target favorability increased to 70. Successfully rescued a married woman. Host can claim abundant rewards. You look at the red-faced auntie on your side, hold her face and said, Auntie, from now on I will protect you. Bang, bang, bang. There is urgent knock on the door. Ma, are you home? Ma, something happened outside. She hears the voice from Seitu Kana's daughter, Seitu Kan Amy. She becomes blushing at that. She wore clothes and run to open the door. Two girls in JK uniform came to the door. The cute lowly with white socks is Kana's daughter, Seitu Kan Amy. The emotionless girl with straight black hair is Seitu Kanami's bestie, Hate no Nana. Kan Amy bursts into tears in Kana's arms. Mom, something's happening outside. People are eating people. What's happening to the world? I'm so scared. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Hate no Nana crosses her arms and leans against the wall, pretending to be calm. I've already contacted my mother. She'll send someone to rescue us soon. But her black stocking feet were trembling and she secretly wipes away the tears under her eyes. Kana looks at the two girls and comforts. It's okay, everything will be alright. As she speaks, she glances at you subconsciously, and relaxes when she sees you watching them seriously. If it's Zhao Mo, he will protect us, she thought to herself. With that thought, she blushes and lowers her head and hugs Kan Amy, but she doesn't know that you already have your eye on her daughter. Ding! Two high-quality young women detected. Name, Seitu Kan Amy, age 18. System notification: if you can successfully save a pair of relatives, you will receive more surprise rewards. You hear this, glanced at Seitu Kana, then gazed intently at Seitu Kan Amy. Heh, mommy-daughter and lowly combo. This system knows how to play. Ding! S-rank superb girl detected. Name, Hate no Nana, age 18. Reminder, based on genetic relations, it can be determined that the S-rank girl's mother is also an S-rank, and a woman can be saved. Host, please remember your mission. In the apocalypse, saving more women with kinship can earn more surprise rewards, including but not limited to sisters, mothers and daughters, etc. You raise an eyebrow and size up the aloof black silk-wearing girl next to you. Everyone else is buy one get one free, but you getting buy one get three. Hate no Nana is not only a famous ice queen at school, but her mother, Hate no Yui, is a famous big entrepreneur, a trillion-dollar female CEO. Whether in terms of wealth or power, she can be said to be among the top in the entire island country. In the face of the apocalypse, the most important thing is strength and resources. Women like them are naturally at the top of the food chain, but you're not in a hurry with the system. Taking down Yui and Nana is just a matter of time. At this moment, you are sitting on the sofa, watching the three of them huddling together for warmth. Then you open the system and claim the reward for saving Auntie Kana. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the talent, Blacklight Virus. Your eyes light up. Blacklight Virus. That's the prototype virus, devouring and evolving. Wouldn't that make you invincible? As you're thinking, an agonizing pain instantly engulfs you. This pain lasts for several minutes, and when you open your eyes again, everything feels different. Not only does your body feel lighter, but you also seem to have endless power. Blacklight virus fusion successful. Current progress 1%. At this moment, your stats are more than 3 times that of ordinary people. Truly a god-tier start. To upgrade the virus, you need to absorb it, only then can you get more evolution points. Right now, you've only fused 1% of the Blacklight virus and you're already this strong. One can imagine how terrifying it will be when you unlock it later. Now that the apocalypse has just broken out in your neighborhood, the zombies outside are the best source of talent points. It just so happens that there's no food left in the house, and even if you and these women stay here, you'll only starve to death. With that thought, you get up and prepare to head outside. The 3 women at this time don't know what you're thinking. The first thing they did after calming down was to try to move the wardrobe to block the door and make a safe house. Just then, you get up and brush past them, heading towards the door. Zhao Mo, what are you doing? Nana is so angry that she raises her eyebrows and stomps her feet. Hurry up and help. Do you want those monsters to find us so we can all die? But before she can finish, you step out the door. The 3 women are dumbfounded at the sight. It's so scary outside, they can't hide fast enough. But not only are you not helping to block the door, you even going out. Terrifying roars echo from the isolated corridor. In an instant, the 3 women turn pale. There are monsters in the corridor. Zhao Mo, Kana panics and rushes forward to grab you, tears welling up in her eyes. Don't go outside. It's outside. But you shake off Kana's hand and smile faintly. Wait for me. Kana's nerves instantly tighten, her hand freezes in midair, and her whole body is in a panic. Her instincts want to believe, but her reason tells her that even if you are strong, how can you fight so many zombies at the same time? Zhao Mo, don't be stupid. Nana grits her teeth, her hand holding the cabinet trembling slightly. Yes, I've always looked down on you. I also know that you're just trying to show off in front of me. It's all for me to take notice of you and to show me that you're not a waste. But now it's a matter of life and death. Your actions are hurting all of us. That makes you almost laugh. It's the apocalypse, and this young lady is still so self-righteous. In your eyes, I'm just trying to show off and to get you to notice me, isn't that so? Jiao? Her black stockinged feet are trembling, her pretty face flushed with anger. You just shake your head slightly. There's one thing I need to remind you. I'm really not that interested in you. As soon as these words are said, Nana feels as if she can't breathe, and her face turns even redder, about to explode. You shake your head slightly, and grab the corner of the cabinet with one hand. Although I'm not interested in you, I'm quite interested in your mom. Nana is instantly frozen by a cold wind, staring at you in shock, unable to come back to her senses for a long time. You raise an eyebrow. You're not really trying to tease Nana on purpose. The system has clearly indicated that you can get more rewards by taking down people with kinship. The three women are confused by your words. Kana panics subconsciously, thinking to herself, is there something she didn't do well enough to satisfy you? As for Nana and Kanemi, they are full of question marks, doubting whether they heard correctly. Thump, thump, thump. At this time, the zombies' roar is getting closer and closer, and there is even the sound of running upstairs. The three women's hearts instantly jumped to their throats. Endless fear is like a tide, instantly engulfing them. Obviously, their voices had alerted the other zombies. Jiao Mo, don't be stupid, come back. Hateno Nana grits her teeth, her face deathly pale, while trying to push the cabinet. If you don't come over to help, we'll all die. Yeah, Jiao Mo, can't you listen to Sister Nana? This is not the time for you to act impulsively. Loli Kanemi is crying, with a tremor in her baby voice. Kana is also panicked, both worried and scared. Jiao Mo, come back, you're the only one left for me, please. All three women want you to come back. In front of the cabinet, you curl your lips, exert force, and swing your arm. With a loud thump, the iron bar weighing more than 200 pounds was dragged by you for 5 or 6 meters and blocked the door. The explosive brute force instantly petrifies the three girls. Is that the frail little boy from school? When did he become so fierce? Before they can come back to their senses, the roars of the zombies outside get closer and closer, and the sound of bones breaking is heard. Nana's teeth chatter with fear. Kanami's face is deathly pale, her whole body trembling. Kana stumbles back a few steps and collapses on the sofa, covering her face and wailing. What they don't know is that the first zombie to rush up outside the door already had its head twisted off by your hand. A faint, bloody stench emanates from the corpse, seeping through your pores, into your blood vessels, flowing through your body like a warm current, eventually converging at the heart. You clench your fist, clearly feeling your strength increase again. Ding! Successfully killed a low-level zombie, automatically absorbed the virus, obtained medical skill talent points. This is the devouring ability of the black light virus. You look down and see a dark mass at the bottom of the stairs. Countless zombies. Anyone else would have peed their pants in fear, thinking they had arrived in hell. But for you, these are all blood bags and talents coming right to your door. A trace of bloodlust flashes in your eyes, icy cold, bursting with killing intent. Under the surveillance camera at the stairwell entrance, you crouch slightly, then push off the ground with a burst of speed, like a bullet fired from a cannon, directly charging into the horde of corpses downstairs. At the same time, in the Kopi-style villa district, a monitoring video is playing on the LCD screen in a living room. The stairwell is filled with dense zombies, and a young man, like lightning, slashes his way from the 5th floor to the 1st floor, then charges into the zombie horde in the community square. In just 2 or 3 minutes, he slaughters nearly 100 zombies in the community. On the sofa, a beautiful woman in her mid-30s is quietly watching this video. After thinking for a long time, she looks at the executive-looking woman in a suit next to her. Mickey, do you think you can do this? The woman called Mickey exudes an aura that keeps people away. Every move carries killing intent, clearly coming from a top international assassin background. She bows respectfully. Chairwoman, it's impossible. This young man's speed and strength are far beyond ordinary people. Even if there were 5 of me, I'm afraid I wouldn't last 3 seconds. Hearing this, Hateno Yui frowns slightly, her eyes darting around, not knowing what she's thinking. Chairwoman Hateno, the manpower is ready and we can go rescue the young lady. A butler-like man walks over and bows 90 degrees. Let's go. Yui slowly gets up and walks out the door with her hands behind her back. To taste the fragrance of the aunties, right in front of her, slaughtered her husband. The auntie was not only not angry, but also threw herself into your arms. Relieved, just because a global zombie outbreak. You, staying at the auntie's house in Tokyo, activated the rescue system. As long as you save those helpless girls, you will get rewards. You are instantly excited, because there is a girl who meets the requirements right in front of you. At this moment, Hateno Yui has already gotten into the car. She knows her daughter Nana's current situation and isn't worried. The key now is that young man, his Nana's classmate. Thinking of this, she takes out her phone and dials her daughter. Mom, have you arrived? I'll be there soon. By the way, there's something I want to ask you. Do you know that student named Jiao Mo? Hateno Nana, who had just calmed down, is stunned when she hears the words, Jiao Mo, Mom, he's already dead. Don't worry, he's still alive and well. After Yui finishes speaking, she directly turns on the video camera and points it at the tablet computer on the left. On the computer screen is the real-time footage of the supermarket. You are rummaging for food. The three girls are instantly overjoyed, especially Kana, who is even more convinced of her inner thoughts, is fighting his way through to bring back survival supplies for us. This is the man she truly wants. After a while, Nana comes back to her senses and asks, Mom, why are you suddenly asking about him? Hearing this, Yui's rose petal-like red lips curve into a meaningful smile. Judging by my daughter's tone, she seems to be quite familiar with Jiao Mo, and seems to be a bit interested in him. Yui is even more interested in you. Has there been any special change in this Jiao Mo recently? Change? Nana thinks for a while. There hasn't been any big change. If I had to say, he seems to have suddenly become very confident. As Nana speaks, she suddenly remembers what you said before you left, and with a pout, both ashamed and annoyed, she blurts it out, oh right, he also said that he's not interested in you, Mom, but he's very interested in you. In the luxury car, Yui is stunned for a second, then bursts out laughing. Likes mature women? Interesting. After the two hang up, not long after, you come back. Knock, 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 it's Jiao Mo, open the door. Hearing your deep voice, Kana is both surprised and delighted, and hurriedly runs over to open the door. The you in front of her makes Kana stunned. At this moment, your body is covered in stinky black blood, but your physique is much stronger than before you left, and your whole being exudes an unspeakable male charm. What's wrong, Kana? Aren't you going to let me in? Looking at Kana, who is stunned in front of you, you helplessly hold up the two big bags of food in your hands. Kana then reacts, her face slightly flushed as she welcomes you inside. Then, she squats down to change your shoes for you. Seeing this, you are immediately stunned, and quickly pull Kana up, holding her delicate hands and saying, there's no need for this, I can do it myself. Madam, your hands are so smooth, you should do more important things. Kana only feels that the hands holding her hands are extremely hot, making her almost unable to look you in the eyes. Jiao Mo. Before she can finish, an off-putting voice suddenly breaks the ambiguous atmosphere. Auntie, what are you doing? Kanemi and Nana had waited for a long time and, feeling strange that they hadn't come in, came to the door, and happened to witness this scene. Kana quickly retracts her hand, and awkwardly straightens her hair. Jiao Mo brought food back, and I wanted to see if he was injured. Is that so? Kanemi tilts her head, her pure and lovely face filled with doubt. You let out a dry laugh. Damn, these two little guys came at the wrong time. Nana doesn't know if she believes Kana's explanation, but she's just surprised as she looks at the two big backpacks on the ground. You actually really brought food back. This little thing is nothing to me. You scratch your head nonchalantly and smile. But even though you say it so easily, how could they really believe it? Especially Kana, who personally witnessed you slaughtering her former husband, is even more moved to the point that tears are welling up in her eyes. You are a little embarrassed by their stares, and just as you're about to tell them not to be so polite, a discordant voice rings out again. Who asked you to show off all by yourself? It's a good thing you were lucky this time and nothing happened. But what if something did happen? Nana's tone is harsh, but you notice her fingers are trembling slightly. She's clearly worried sick. Don't worry, I'm strong, and if I don't go, we might starve to death. You try to reassure Nana helplessly, but Nana doesn't appreciate it. Instead, she steps forward and questions you. You're not a superhero. There's always danger when you're alone. Besides, I can go with you. Two people are better than one, right? You look at her slender legs, and say nothing. Nana seems even more annoyed, her eyes reddening. What kind of look is that? Are you looking down on me? Kanemi also helps Nana to speak, waving her small fist forcefully. That's right, Jiao Mo, you're being too reckless. Don't look at us like this. We're actually very strong. The way the loli is waving her small fists is like a little kitten. You are helpless. You have a system. You are not afraid of virus erosion. But if you really take them with you, something might happen. Kana sees her daughter Kanemi actually following Nana in speaking, and immediately gets angry, and can't help but sternly reprimand Kanemi. Kanemi, how did Mom teach you usually? How can you talk to your benefactor like that? Apologize to Jiao Mo right now? Kana, giving a stern lecture, looks quite like a strict mother. It's okay, madam. Kanemi and Nana are just worried about me. After saying that, you give the two girls a slight smile. Don't worry about me. I have my own guarantee. I won't be infected by zombies. Nana says angrily, who's worried about you? Kanemi doesn't appreciate it. She's almost never been scolded by her mother before, but now she's being scolded because of you. I didn't do anything wrong. It's clearly Zhao Mo who's too reckless. Zhao Mo is the one who's wrong. Kaname angrily pulls Nana into the room, closes the door, and doesn't apologize to you. I'm really sorry, Zhao Mo. Kaname wasn't like this before, and Nana didn't do it on purpose. Please forgive them. Kana looks at you apologetically. They're all kids. How could I hold it against them? I know they are just worried about me. You say these high-sounding words. Kana thinks of something, and suddenly her face turns red, and she says coquettishly, Zhao Mo, you dirty. How about I serve you with a bath? You also feel dirty all over, and immediately agree. After entering the bathroom, you sit under the shower, Kana's eyes filled with shyness, as she says tremblingly, Zhao Mo, please lift up your arm, I'll help you wipe here. Omitted here, explicit content. 2 hours later, a tired Kana lies in your arms, exclaiming in her heart, Zhao Mo is very strong in all aspects. I must bring Kaname and follow Zhao Mo closely, so that we have a chance to survive. Thinking of this, Kana proactively says to you, Zhao Mo, I know you're very strong, but if there's anything I can help with in the future, please tell me directly. I will definitely help you do it. Kana doesn't want to be a burden to you, or be of no help at all. As a traditional island nation woman, she knows that she must be useful. You smile. You're very happy that Kana can have such determination, and from the favorability, you can see that Kana has truly decided to follow you. That's for sure. I'm just afraid that there will be too many things to do in the future, and you won't be willing to do them. No, I won't. As long as I can help, I'm willing to do anything. Indeed, in this apocalyptic world, if women are all just vases, relying on you alone to protect them is a bit unrealistic. How can one person's strength be equal to the strength of a group of people? You know very well what you need. After all, you will definitely have many women in the future. A few vases are enough. The others still need to have some ability to become your strong helpers, so that you can hope to survive to the end in this kind of apocalypse. Thinking of this, you are a little troubled. Hate no Yui is temporarily a super candidate, but it's far from enough. Nana is so beautiful. Her mother Hate no Yui is even the best of the best. With Yui's help, you can not only open a harem, but even use this city as a base to develop your own business. But you clearly know that this is just a beginning, and the development of everything has never been so simple. Just as you're thinking, the doorbell suddenly rings. At this time, the only ones who would ring the doorbell should be humans. Could it be that Hate no Yui has come so soon? You are overjoyed, and quickly invite Kana to put on her clothes and walk out of the room. Nana and Kaname open the door for Yui first. When you arrive in the living room, you see the three girls sitting in the hall. Looking at the suddenly appearing stranger, your eyes light up, and you immediately check her favorability. Hate no Yui's current favorability towards the host is 40. That's so high. Is it because you saved her daughter? At this time, Kana also comes out of the room. She came in a hurry, and her clothes are a little disheveled, which makes the three girls outside stunned. Mom, why did you come out of Zhao Mo's room? Could it be that Mom and Zhao Mo have already? Kana is flustered when she sees this, and quickly explains, I just made a bowl of noodles and took them to Zhao Mo to eat, so that's why I was in his room. Yui smiles and doesn't expose her. The two innocent girls, Kaname and Nana, are dubious, but don't ask any more questions. Haha, so that's how it is. It seems that Miss Kana and Zhao Mo have a good relationship. Yui smiles meaningfully. After all, in such a dangerous situation, deepening the relationship is a very normal thing. You and Kana are a little embarrassed, but also pretend that nothing happened and smile in agreement. Madam, are you Nana's mother? I am. My name is Hate no Yui. Yui smiles faintly. She has changed into a more appropriate dress, and her noble and aloof temperament is undoubtedly highlighted. Her outstanding figure and snow-white neck make your eyes burn with fire. Mr. Zhao Mo, please show some self-respect. The executive standing next to Yui suddenly steps forward, blocking your gaze, staring at you with a look of disgust. You reluctantly withdraw your gaze and shift it to Fukada Aimi. This is a very tall girl, with a long sword hanging at her waist, and exuding a fierce aura. She should be a bodyguard, but she looks more like an assassin. Fukada Aimi is filled with killing intent by your stare, but Yui pats her hand, preventing a possible conflict. Not to mention whether Fukada Aimi can beat Zhao Mo. In order to avoid breaking the current harmonious situation, they can't fight. However, Zhao Mo is lustful, which is a good breakthrough point. Yui naturally noticed your gaze, but she didn't care at all. As a qualified politician, this gaze can't cause her any harm. She's just thinking about how to make the most of you. Yui stands up and smiles at you. Mr. Zhao Mo, thank you for saving my daughter. It's no longer safe here. As a reward, how about going to my private shelter? Of course, food, clothing, shelter, and transportation will all be guaranteed by me. Hearing this, you are a bit tempted. Although there are no zombies around the residence for the time being, and the water and electricity supply have not been cut off, who can guarantee that it will not be cut off at any time? You can't stand the hard life of eating chaff and swallowing vegetables. But then again, if you go to the villa with Yui, wouldn't it be inconvenient to obtain talent points? This is something you are unwilling to do. Yui sees your hesitation, thinks for a while, notices the uneasy Kana next to her, smiles in her heart, and becomes more contemptuous of you. In the end, he is still a young man, reluctant to part with the beauty he just got his hands on. It's not difficult for Yui to support a few more people. Yui said very considerately, "Of course, I will also take the Soto mother and daughter away, don't worry. After all, Kanemi is my daughter's friend." Nana, who was still hesitant to speak just now, immediately becomes happy when she hears this, hugs Yui's shoulder, and says coquettishly, "I knew Mom was the best. Kanemi, we will always be together." Kanemi is also relieved, but Kana is still looking at you. She has decided to follow you, and if you don't go, she won't go either. Moreover, Yui gives Kana a very dangerous feeling, making her subconsciously unwilling to approach. You come back to your senses, and laugh loudly. "Is that so? Then thank you very much, madam." Yui smiles slightly, very satisfied with your understanding. As promised, she takes a few people to her villa by car. In the car, "Mr. Zhao Mo, you've been studying in the island country for so long. How's your study going?" Hearing this, you pull your gaze away from Yui's black silk beautiful legs, and reply, "Haha, SOSO." The two ask and answer. Yui pays special attention to you, making everyone else feel a little strange. Strange, why is Mom paying so much attention to that bad guy Zhao Mo? Nana is a little unhappy in her heart. Kana, looking at such a stunning beauty as Yui showing concern for you, can't help but feel a sense of crisis in her heart. Kanemi, on the other hand, feels a little jealous in addition to being strange. Why is Nana's mother so intimate with Zhao Mo? Isn't it said that he is very powerful? Zhao Mo doesn't have anything special about him. They didn't see the video of you killing zombies like crazy, so naturally they don't know why Yui values you. You multitask, and open the system panel while chatting with Yui. So many things have happened, you haven't had time to check your income from killing zombies. Talent points 106, you look at the dark talent tree and click on the blacklight virus branch. The current fusion purity of the blacklight virus is 10%, and it requires 20 talent points to upgrade. You don't hesitate and put them all in. Not long after, you arrive at the villa area, and the group gets out of the car with their own thoughts. It was already late that day, so fortunately Yui didn't drag you to chat too much, and simply let you go to rest first. But early the next morning, you are taking a walk when you suddenly receive an invitation from Yui. Madam invites you to meet her in the pavilion ahead. You look at Fukada Aimi, with her cold temperament, in front of you in some surprise. Fukada Aimi just nods silently, then lead the way. "I'll go over now." Hearing this, Fukada Aimi starts leading the way without saying a word. She doesn't have any goodwill towards you, but since her master Yui wants to use you, Fukada Aimi will naturally treat you as a guest of honor. While you are openly peeking at Fukada Aimi's upturned buttocks, you are thinking about the purpose of Yui calling you over. Could this widow have taken a fancy to my youth and strength, and plans to offer herself proactively? What should I do? "Mr. Zhao Mo, you're here." A voice breaks your fantasy. Yui, sitting in the pavilion, is extremely perfect in figure, wearing a white dress with a side slit, and is waiting for you with her legs crossed. This makes your eyes light up, especially the pair of diamond-studded high heels on her jade feet. "Sorry to keep you waiting. Madam, you are so fascinated that you can't help but keep staring at her. The style of the high heels reminds you of certain girls, making your mouth dry. Please sit down." Yui doesn't mind being stared at by you. To some extent, this is an affirmation of her charm, and she is confident that she can control you. "I've prepared some breakfast. I don't know if it suits your taste." Yui rests her chin on her hand and looks at you intently. "It's very delicious." After the two chat for a while, you say jokingly, "Madam, you are really charming. If you are willing to give me a chance, I think I will pursue you." These are not humble words. Besides the rewards given by the system, you yourself really admire Yui. Yui is not only a beauty, but her conversation, knowledge, and even status are very unusual. You believe that if she is willing to share her resources, everything will be much easier in the future. Yui is slightly surprised. She can see that you recognize her in all aspects in a multidimensional way, and not just simply care about her appearance, which makes her slightly change her opinion of you. Although lustful, but a straightforward person. "Mr. Zhao Mo is exaggerating. I'm already an old woman. It's really embarrassing." Yui also gives you a crescent moon-shaped smile, and laughs. Ding! The target's favorability towards the host has increased, currently at 45. "I also want to thank Mr. Zhao for saving Nana. I wonder how you two know each other?" Yui starts to test you. You are well aware of this, but pretend not to know and start to explain with a smile. During elective courses before, I was fortunate enough to attend a few classes together. While you are talking eloquently, a deafening roar suddenly comes out, a black shadow flashes, a bloody zombie suddenly pounces into the pavilion where you are. Madam, run, your eyes sharpen, and you unhesitatingly grab the table knife and rush forward without backing down. Fakada Aimi quickly takes out a sniper rifle, ready to kill at any time. At this time, the zombie pounces on the table and pounces towards you. Seeing this, not only do you not retreat, but you raise your leg and sweep it directly, as if your hands and feet have been freed, directly splitting the zombie on the table. Then you stab down with force. The table knife pierces through the zombie's head without any resistance, as if cutting tofu, and nails it to the table. This series of actions is smooth and flowing. The whole process does not exceed 5 seconds. Yui and Fakada Aimi are stunned. Absolute power, amazing calmness. This small boy doesn't have the slightest hesitation when facing zombies. It seems they have underestimated you. This extraordinary calmness is definitely not something an ordinary lustful person can have. What a pity for this meal. You casually pick up a napkin, wipe your hands unhurriedly, and walk out. Yui then reacts. That beautiful and noble face is once again covered with a perfect smile. It's not a pity, I still have to thank Mr. Jalmo for saving me again. After saying that, she pats her heaving chest, but you rudely interrupt Yui's words. Madam, yesterday you seemed to imply this was a safe zone. Yui was stunned, immediately realizing what was happening. She was about to explain when you stopped her. I think a safe zone wouldn't have zombies infesting the back garden, wouldn't you? Yui finally understood. She got it. Yui's heart sank. She finally realized you weren't as easily manipulated as she thought. I don't mind helping madam, but I don't want to see such clumsy tests again. After all, I'm a guest, not a hired hand, right? You said pointedly. Yui dared not prevaricate any longer. She replied respectfully, yes, I'm very sorry. I guarantee there won't be a next time. You nodded, saying nothing more, and casually snapped the head off a zombie on the table. Seeing the zombie's head twisted off with such ease, Yui was even more shocked. They couldn't believe how much raw power was contained in those seemingly slender arms. My apologies for soiling madam's clothes. I'll go wash up myself. Farewell for now. You turned and left without a shred of remorse. That afternoon, Yui Hateno sat helplessly in the bathroom. After this afternoon's test, the way you decimated the zombies like a beast had her trembling. She originally thought everything was under her control, but now she realized she'd brought a monster into her home. Yui hugged herself tightly in fear. The usually rational and calm woman cried in terror. Fakada Aimi hugged her without a word, trying to offer some comfort. But honestly, recalling the sight of the youth with blood splattered on his face, casually twisting off zombie heads while bantering with Yui, even Fakada Aimi, who had walked through mountains of corpses, couldn't help but feel a chill run down her spine. He was a fearsome, inhuman monster. Could he even be considered human anymore? Fakada, did I make a mistake? Yui looked up, lost and confused. Her neatly styled hair was now slightly disheveled, and her eyes were red-rimmed, making her look exhausted. But even like this, she was beautiful, so beautiful that one couldn't help but want to hold her and comfort her, to ease her fears. Yui Hateno, a woman who had beauty and elegance etched into her bones since birth, never let anyone see her elegance and rationality shatter in this heartbreaking way. If you saw this, you would immediately take back all those cold words, and properly comfort this pitiful, beautiful madam. But sadly, there was only a heartless killer here. Fakada Aimi just looked at Yui with unwavering conviction, repeatedly saying, Madam never makes mistakes. Jalmo's strength proves you chose the right man. Yui didn't reply, just feeling the warmth of another human, briefly emptying her thoughts. You were unaware that the otherwise composed Yui would be so terrified after you left, and simply left on your own. You returned to the villa, more like a small manor, actually, which was completely self-sufficient. Kana was watering the flowers at the door, and rushed up to greet you with delight when she saw you return. Jalmo-kun, you're back. You smiled and caressed Kana's face. Is there food? I'm starving. Kana eagerly took your hand and led you inside. I've already prepared it. I wasn't sure what you liked, so I just made some simple Chinese dishes. She added anxiously, if there's anything you don't like, you have to tell me. Anything Kana makes, I'll love. Feeling the softness pressed against your arm, you were already getting restless. How could a young man who had just tasted desire resist this temptation? As they ate, the meal turned into something else entirely. Jalmo-kun, we haven't finished eating yet. This meal, of course, would never be finished. The two messed around until noon, when Yui came looking for you, finally interrupting your fun. Kana, exhausted, fell asleep instantly. You threw on some clothes and went to find Yui. Yui outside the door had regained her composure, wearing her usual elegant smile, dressed in a simple, elegant white shirt and a light grey pencil skirt, exuding sophisticated competence. Madam, what's this about? Yui wasted no time, frankly revealing her plan. I've prepared a basement full of zombies, which you can use at any time. Your abilities, I believe, could evolve differently with more exposure and training. You raised an eyebrow. Yui was a smart one. Since she was being cooperative, there was no need to continue pressing her so hard. After all, Yui was still your target, so you nodded decisively. Alright, take me there. Yui didn't say much, leading the way directly to the basement door. The basement looked very well hidden, but opening the door required Yui's full body scan, quite high-tech. Yui also helped you set up your authentication. I'll be responsible for replenishing the zombies. With that, Yui led you inside and closed the basement door. Yui didn't go in with you. Instead, she went to the surveillance room on the other side. You weren't surprised. You put on a mask, stretched your limbs, and prepared for the upcoming battle. First, there was a downward slope, followed by a surge of blue light. But you didn't need to adjust, directly walking through the mechanical door. The metallic sheen of black iron was everywhere, but at first glance, you couldn't find the end of the basement. More strangely, there wasn't a single zombie in sight. You raised an eyebrow in confusion. The next moment, the zombies began to be released. Clatter, clatter. The heavy sound of activation and footsteps rang out simultaneously. Thousands of zombies rushed towards you from all directions at the same time. The ferocious zombies and the unarmed man. The scene sent shivers down your spine. But you merely joked. So many? Are you trying to kill me? But no one knew. Your blood was boiling. The exhilaration from increased strength was even more addictive than sex. Ever since you started accepting the blacklight virus, you had become increasingly eager for battle. The smile behind your mask was unrestrained. The next second, you were swallowed by zombies. Before long, blood flowers quietly bloomed. Bang, bang, bang. Countless impacts rang out simultaneously. An arm, a human arm, punched the zombie above it, sending it flying. It was you. You were actually relying solely on your bare fists, forcing your way out of the zombie horde. With a stomp on the ground, you launched yourself like a bullet. The zombies met on the road were all smashed into mincemeat. A single sweeping kick sent countless zombies flying. Red flesh and milky white fluid painted a gruesome picture. You looked more like a zombie than the zombies themselves. A veritable god of slaughter descended upon the earth. The sight sent chills down the spines of those in the surveillance room. A mere glance from you sent them trembling. This was the dominance of the food chain. Yui's heart sank. She now understood that you had been holding back that morning. You didn't need to expend so much effort to kill a zombie at all. You just didn't want to make things even bloodier. Fakada Aimi said in a deep voice. He's even stronger than he seemed before. Yui's blood rushed to her head upon hearing this. Her heart beat wildly. Your powerful figure was deeply etched into her heart. She had always craved a man like you, despite her initial fear. After regaining her senses, Yui realized that you would never harm her. On the contrary, you could potentially establish a great working relationship, and the various charms you possessed were something Yui greatly admired. Target's affection increased. Currently at 70, this notification was too insignificant amidst the multitude of experience and talent point notifications. You were already seeing red. Not enough. Never enough. These trash zombies couldn't bring you any joy in combat. One-sided, mowing the lawn annihilation couldn't satisfy your bloodlust. You could only kill frantically, trying to make up for the lack of quality with quantity, until another special notification startled you. Congratulations, host. You've achieved 1,000 zombie kills. Title acquired, Zombie Hunter. And at this point, you had pretty much killed all the zombies. The few remaining zombies trembled and hid in the outer areas. The mindless zombies had actually developed fear towards you. They suppressed their instincts and didn't actively attack you. Standing atop the mountain of corpses, you looked around and simply sat down, beginning to examine the rewards from this massacre. Zombie Hunter, achievement gained for killing over 1,000 ordinary zombies. Title equipped, doubles base stats, applies intimidation against zombie monsters, increases damage by 20%. Not bad at all. Since there were no new targets for now, you simply equipped the new title, but as soon as you equipped it, you felt the title's powerful effects. Crack, crack. The joints in your body kept colliding. You only felt a surge of powerful blood chi fill your body. The weariness you had previously felt instantly vanished. The strength, several times greater than before, made you feel invincible. But you also noticed that the surrounding zombies were avoiding you even more since you equipped the title. Interesting. Detected host has acquired the Zombie Hunter title. Subsequent experience gained from killing ordinary zombies reduced by half. You weren't surprised by this notification. You had already felt it when you were randomly killing them earlier. Killing ordinary zombies couldn't satisfy the blacklight virus's bloodthirsty desire. Instead, it would only intensify this negative desire. If you didn't seek out powerful enemies and continue to mow down the weak, you would likely turn into a killing machine. This wasn't the result you wanted. It seemed you had to find stronger zombies in the future. Mutated zombies, they must exist, right? You muttered to yourself. It was then that you noticed Yui's affection increase. You chuckled, but didn't care much. Right now, increasing affection was just icing on the cake. Increasing your strength was the real deal. At this moment, you returned home and took a shower. Yui was also very considerate, waiting until you were done before coming to discuss the follow-up matters with you. Zhao Mokun, I don't think it's realistic for Zhao Mokun alone to clear out all the zombies, even though you are very powerful. You are, after all, only one person. You took a sip of tea, signaling for Yui to continue. Yui spoke eloquently and confidently. I believe we can establish simple alarm systems and observation points throughout this city and even the surrounding areas, and send people to build a network for gathering information. That way, we can bring the entire city under our control, not only monitoring potential dangers at any time, but also obtaining first-hand intelligence, making it easier to arrange subsequent actions. You nodded. What Yui said was indeed very reasonable, and she had probably planned to do so before, but now with your strength added, it was the icing on the cake. With your observational skills, you naturally knew that your slaughter today had been watched the entire time, but you didn't mind, and said lightly, "All right, do as Madam says, but if you discover mutated zombies, please notify me. I'd be more than happy to help you solve your problems." It was getting late, and after roughly discussing some general matters, the two parted ways. Yui, filled with ambition, took the plan and gathered the influential figures who hadn't yet left this place. No one knew that on such an ordinary evening, two people made a plan, and from this city as the center, a hurricane would be unleashed, and this hurricane would sweep across the entire island nation. But for you, this was just the beginning. The next morning, you woke up leisurely, but Kana in your arms was still sleeping soundly. Kana, now free from danger and domestic violence, was sleeping very peacefully. Her face was rosy, her slightly disheveled long hair slid off her shoulders, and her fair skin and dark hair formed a beautiful scene. You were very satisfied to see it. It was the first time you had woken up in the same bed as your woman, and this feeling was surprisingly nice. You reached out and lightly pinched Kana's nose. Kana groaned in displeasure, frowned, and woke up. Her eyes were still a little dazed. When she saw you, she instinctively snuggled into your arms, seemingly wanting to sleep a little longer. So, you went to the gym to work out, feeling refreshed. But just as you had worked out for a little while, the gym door was pushed open, and Kana walked in pushing a food cart, with a shy look on her face. "I thought you would sleep a little longer." You went to greet her and hugged Kana as she set the meal. Kana put down the plate, her jade hand gently placed on the back of Zhao Mo's hand. Her hand was not only a few circles smaller than Zhao Mo's, but there was also a clear contrast in skin tone. How could anyone sleep after you tossed them around like that? Kana leaned into Zhao Mo's arms and playfully hit you. Hearing this, you smiled and said, "So, you were awake the whole time?" As you spoke, the two started messing around again. And all of this was seen by the person outside the door. Nene, who happened to pass by, watched the two laughing and joking around. Kana's happy smile was especially dazzling. Nene clenched her fists tightly, feeling like a dark rat, peeking into other people's happiness. But why? Why was it Kana? She was Kaney's mother. How could Zhao Mo be with that old woman? Uncontrollable jealousy rose in Nene's heart. She finally realized that she truly liked Zhao Mo, but Zhao Mo was already with Kana. Her heart ached, and she was about to leave. When she saw Kana suddenly hug Zhao Mo, Nene's feet were like nails, unable to move a step. Wasn't Kana still feeling uncomfortable? You originally only intended to tease her, but you didn't expect her to be so bold. Kana pretended to glare at you indignantly, said nothing, and let go of you to leave. You couldn't pretend any longer, and directly grabbed Kana. Becoming intimate, detected Nene's affection increased. Current affection at 60. Zhao Mo, having finished his business, received Nene's affection notification inexplicably when he left the gym. He was stunned for a moment, but didn't think too much, assuming Nene had suddenly had a change of heart. This time the random reward was 60 talent points. Not bad. You didn't care too much, and called everyone else to briefly plan the use of supplies and precautions. Each of us should restrain our daily food consumption. Also, everyone should pay attention to hygiene. Although we can't wash every day, it's still okay to wash every 2 or 3 days. Yui's villa has a large water reserve and a circulation filtration system, so there's no need to worry too much about this. Zhao Mo was mainly worried that they would be infected with the zombie virus. Although he wouldn't be infected, they were all still ordinary people. The women didn't express any objections, but Nene's mind was full of the scene she had seen in the morning, her face turning black and red, and she didn't react for a long time. Kaney thought Nene was scared, and tried to reach out to touch Nene's head. That smooth black long hair felt great. Kaney thought as she comforted Nene, Don't worry, Nene. Zhao Mokuan will protect us. There won't be any danger. You nodded when you heard this, and guaranteed. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Nene didn't say anything, not even paying attention to Zhao Mo, but silently held Kaney's hand. Her eyes extremely complex. Kaney still didn't know that Zhao Mo was already with Kana. If she knew. After the conversation, Nene locked herself in her room. At this time, you finally realized that Nene was acting strange, and ran to knock on Nene's door. What happened, Nene? You can tell me anything, you said gently through the door. Nene didn't open the door, and her voice was muffled in the room. I'm fine, you don't need to worry about me. How could I not worry about you? I said that protecting your mental health is also within my range of protection. You made a joke, but Nene didn't say a word. Suddenly, the door opened. The straight black-haired girl holding the door was looking down, her eyes red, saying nothing, and directly threw herself into your arms. You big jerk, I'll never forgive you. Okay, don't forgive me if you don't want to. You hugged her helplessly and patted Nene's head. Don't pat my head, I won't grow taller. Nene buried her head in your arms, still acting spoiled, but didn't let go of your waist at all. Ding! Nene's affection increased, currently at 80. Please check the rewards yourself. While hugging Nene, you opened the system with your mind and saw the rewarded skill, top-tier defense, detect zombie signals within a 1 kilometer radius of the host. If a high-energy signal is detected, a defensive state will automatically be activated. Passive skill, does not consume mana or health. What a great skill. Nene's emotions stabilized a lot. Although she was reluctant, she still took the initiative to let go of you. You felt a little awkward and lowered your head to say, thank you, but don't think that comforting me will change anything. You weren't surprised, since she was being at Sunder, but since Nene's problem was solved, you could also make a successful retreat. Just as you were about to say goodbye, Nene's phone kept ringing, buzzing and vibrating non-stop. Nene was a little embarrassed and was about to hang up, but just then, your phone rang too. You were a little surprised. You didn't have a good relationship with your classmates, and you usually didn't have much contact with them. The only people you contacted were all by your side. Who would be calling you at this time? Let's answer it first. You signaled Nene to answer the phone, and you picked up your phone. Hello, what? But I? Nene's expression was first surprised, then embarrassed. The phone that was calling you had already been hung up, not knowing whether the other person was dead or alive. You said that because you had already seen the news in the school chat. Zombies had massively invaded the school, probably because there were many people in the school. The people in their class had scattered and fled, and the fate of many people was unknown. Looking at Nene's helpless expression, you took her pistol. I am Zhao Mo. Who are you? What's the situation now? The other person was clearly very surprised. Zhao Mo, it's me. We even came to study abroad together. You have to come and save me. I'm now. The sound of bones breaking and sticky flesh colliding rang out simultaneously. You knew that the classmate was probably dead. The last thing on the phone was the zombie's roar and his weak cry for help. It was probably because the place where he was hiding had been discovered. You hung up the phone in silence and glanced at the name Nene had given the other person. It was indeed an international student who came with you. What a pity. Nene looked at your expression. Her heart skipped a beat, and she quickly asked, what happened to him? Is he dead? You nodded in silence and handed the phone back to Nene. In the apocalypse, people's lives were so cheap. At this time, Kaney hurried over, and seeing you and Nene were both there, her eyes lit up. She quickly bounced to your side and pulled on your sleeve. The petite girl, wearing a pink sundress, her delicate little hands pulling on the corner of your clothes, her fair feet twisting and turning anxiously, finally made up her mind and looked up at you, saying, Zhao Mo-kun, I know you're very powerful. Can you go and save my classmates? The little Lola's big cut eyes were filled with tears, and her pitiful appearance was extremely moving, making people want to kiss her eyes. You felt that Kaney was too cute. You almost couldn't help but agree to her directly, but after coming back to your senses, you managed to calm down and pretended to be thinking, not answering immediately. Nene didn't say anything, staring blankly at the various disgusting photos of corpses in the group chat. 1 day ago, these people were still living people, still laughing and playing around you. At this moment, Nene finally realized what a cruel era this was, and Kaney was getting anxious seeing you not speaking for a long time. Her eyes were red-rimmed, and she looked like she was about to cry as she lowered her head and showed you the photos on her phone. Please, Zhao Mo-kun, please go and save them. Even saving one person would be good. If possible, I'll go with you. Kaney had obviously mustered up all her courage. You came back to your senses, touched Kaney's face, gently wiping away the tears from the corners of her eyes, and comforted her. Don't worry, I'll go. Kaney was stunned. Your touch was warm and dry, yet full of power, making her feel a little itchy. she couldn't help but blink like a kitten, and unconsciously rubbed the palm of her hand. Super cute. You were even more moved. Although theoretically speaking, he wasn't very interested in Kaney's lolly-like physique, but cuteness was a critical hit, especially after eating too much rich food. He always wanted to eat some light porridge and side dishes, and Kaney was very suitable. But Kana, who heard the news, was very worried and rushed over to stop you. No, Jalmo-kun, it's really dangerous outside. I know you're strong, but no matter how strong you are, you're just one person. Kana stood at the door, stretching out her arms, clearly determined not to let you out, but Yui didn't think so. No one who had seen your live broadcast of slaughtering zombies would think you were in danger. Madam Soto, you don't have to worry so much. Believe in Jalmo-kun, his abilities are beyond your imagination. Fukada Aimi stood aside and nodded. Your abilities had almost surpassed those of humans. Now Fukada Aimi was still extremely wary of you. If you suddenly became violent, Fukada Aimi wasn't confident that she could protect Yui and Nene. Even the two of them would have a hard time protecting themselves. You hugged Kana and secretly whispered a few words in her ear, obviously determined. I'll leave first, don't worry, I'll be back soon. After persuading Kana, you said a simple goodbye and left the villa area. You drove a small car to a nearby supermarket, packed a lot of things from the supermarket in your backpack, and got in the car with the food. You were about to drive to the school, but before you had gone far, detected an extremely beautiful woman nearby is calling for help. Name, Murakami Nanako, age 18, overall rating, A. Murakami Nanako, you stopped the car, looked around, and locked onto the women's restroom not far away, and went straight in. She is the top student in the class, good looking, with a gentle personality. Now going in to save her is a heroic rescue, and it should be easy to conquer her, but there were two annoying zombies standing at the door. Annoying, you were too lazy to use your skills, and directly went up to solve them with your fists. You secretly peeked out the door of the restroom. Nanako saw you coming directly and was startled. Just as she was about to remind you, she saw you dodge the zombies' attack, grab the heads of the two zombies, and slam them heavily together. Smash! The zombies' brains were easily shattered. You shook your hands and leisurely washed them at the sink, turning around to see Nanako in the corner, looking at you with an unbelievable look, raising an eyebrow and smiling. Nanako, I am Jalmo. I'm here to save you. Come with me quickly. Don't just stand there. Nanako then came back to her senses and ran over excitedly, looking at you, not knowing what to say, and directly burst into tears. Jalmo-kun, if it wasn't for you, I might have. She looked a little embarrassed, covered in dust, and the clothes on her body were a little tattered, but it exposed the delicate skin under her clothes. Dull black-rimmed glasses, a small face the size of a palm, dirty like a little cat, but also a bit cute. You must be hungry. Have something to eat first. You casually took out a few pieces of bread and a bottle of milk. Nanako didn't dare to take it, but you directly stuffed it into her arms, and she dared to eat it. Why didn't I notice that Jalmo-kun was so handsome and charming before? Nanako stole glances at you while eating. At the same time, you also received Nanako's affection, and a notification popped up. Target's current affection is 50. Heroic rescues are convenient. The initial affection was 50. You touched her head, thinking that this hamster-like nerd was quite cute. Unexpectedly, Nanako was so nervous from your touch that she couldn't eat. Her heart was pounding wildly. He touched my head. I haven't washed my hair for 2 days. Could it be a little? But it's so exciting. Ding! Affection increased, currently at 70. A touch and an increase. You found it strange. You had never encountered affection growing so quickly before. Was this some kind of gift? You were enjoying touching her, but then the phone in your pocket vibrated again. You didn't need to think to know that the cowards were calling crazily again. You asked helplessly, Nanako, do you want to stay here and wait, or go with me to the school to save people? Nanako said without thinking, I want to go with you. She never wanted to be left here alone again. You nodded, didn't refuse, and quietly activated the defensive shield, so that Nanako wouldn't be killed by the zombies behind you. You didn't know that after driving for a while, you quickly couldn't continue. The vehicles on the road seemed to be rushing to die, colliding with each other. As far as the eye could see, some vehicles had been crushed into pieces. You took Nanako out of the car, intending to come back and take the car away later. Nanako followed anxiously behind you, but didn't dare to hold you. You reached out and pulled her into your arms, smiling. Hold me, don't worry, I'll protect you. Nanako was caught off guard, her heart pounding wildly. You held her in one arm, and picked up a steel pipe with the other, starting to sweep away the zombies. Bang, bang, bang. The roaring zombies seemed to be looking for death, crashing into the steel pipe in your hand. One by one, their heads were shattered. Feeling your strong chest and watching him wield the steel pipe, releasing his strong arm muscles, Nanako once again believed in your strength. Such a powerful man would definitely protect her. Target saved. Nanako's affection is full. Congratulations, host. Reward, acupuncture healing skill. Please explore its use yourself. That's not not bad, you didn't care too much. After accepting the reward, you killed your way directly to the school. As soon as you arrived at the school, you suddenly felt the urge to urinate. You quickly ran to the men's restroom. Jaumo-kun, I need to go to the restroom too. Seeing this, Nanako quickly followed. Seeing you standing and peeing, a trace of shyness flashed in her eyes. You didn't have time to cover up, so you had to turn your back to her. Nanako, you're in the wrong restroom. The women's restroom is next door. Host, don't hide. Come and save this lost girl. Only you can save her. The system appeared at an inopportune time, starting to encourage you. I don't need your encouragement at this time. Are you sick or something? You cursed inwardly. Nanako looked at your back with some hurt, and bravely walked over, hugging your waist. Jaumo-kun, I didn't go to the wrong restroom. I did it on purpose. You turned around in surprise, only to be kissed directly by Nanako, who was standing on tiptoe.